Hello, everyone. We are so happy to have you back at our Courageous Leadership with Virginia Prodan. We have the podcast every Wednesday and Saturday at 10 o'clock, and we are so delighted to have today a very, very important person who has done amazing things. So I want you to make sure that you are in a quiet place, you have something to take notes because you will learn a lot. Our guest is Dr. John Reese, and he grew up in Columbia, South Carolina. He graduated from the Citadel, the military college in South Carolina in 1984. He was commissioned as an officer in United States Air Force before attending dental school. And he received his doctor of dental medicine from the Medical University in 1988, which he held a 4-year assignment as a staff general dentist in one of the largest teaching hospitals in the United States Air Force. I am so glad, John, to have you here. I know that there is more to your bio, and I hope you will share with our audience that. But I know I have a son in the United States Air Force and a son-in-law in the Marines, and I am amazed how United States Air Force in general, the military colleges trains their cadets to be leaders. And before you share everything else from your bio, because you did amazing things, tell us about how being an officer in United States Air Force helped you to be such an amazing person and a problem solver.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, as you mentioned, I went to the Military College of South Carolina, the Citadel, which was really the basis for my training. That's a totally immersive, and at the time it was an all-male military college, and we got very intense training in leadership, which included a lot of discipline and a lot of other things. And so that was where I actually learned my leadership skills. I went into the Air Force after I went to dental school on active duty. I was already commissioned, but I was not on active duty until after I finished dental school. And from there, I was in a large teaching hospital and didn't really get a chance to use a lot of the leadership skills there, but I used them greatly when I got out and became very active in the dental association and in my community and that sort of thing.
Um, I know, reading from your bio, we know that you are trained as a dentist,
Yes.
but you did a lots of unique things in dentistry. Can you tell
Yes.
us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So when I was in the Air Force again, I was in one of the largest teaching hospitals in the Air Force, and I was on staff. But I got the benefit of all the training there because they quite frankly didn't know what to do with me. I was the youngest guy on the team, and so they sent me around to all the training that the residents went to. I went to the operating room twice a month to learn how to put people to sleep. I was trained in forensics, all the different specialties. So when I got out of the Air Force, I was extremely well trained, more so than a lot of my peers. And I had a very complex, comprehensive, restorative, and cosmetic dental practice where I saw mostly adults and did very complex procedures on them in a very nice building for all cash. And then in 2000, I discovered a need where children who were economically disadvantaged didn't get proper dental care. So I started an experiment where we went to schools and saw kids in a converted RV as an experiment again. And that actually worked better than I could have imagined. So I asked one of my colleagues whose wife was also a dentist, if she wanted to work for me, and she didn't want to do that. But I said, well, then would you like to buy my practice? And so she did. In a matter of 6 months, I went from working on almost all adults in a nice building for all cash, working on all kids in a converted RV for all Medicaid. And we took that practice and innovated, and we had to design the clinics we use over time. And we ended up selling that to a large family office in 2018. So when we started in 2001, we saw 30 kids between the time I started in March and the end of school. When I sold it in 2018, we were in 175 schools in 10 counties in South Carolina, and we saw 15,000 kids that year. So it was a wildly successful. And again, we had to design the clinics we use. So I still own 100% of that business, and we sell, manufacture, design, and lease mobile dental clinics and temporary dental offices right now.
That is wonderful. And tell us who is behind Quanta, and what makes your company different than other platforms that exist.
Okay. So again, as not being a person who is satisfied with the status quo, I did different things in dentistry. I saw unmet needs and I filled them. We became aware of the need for secure communications back in 2021, early 2021, when Parlor was shut down. The social media platform Parlor was shut down by the app stores and also by Amazon. Amazon Web Services actually hijacked their data. So we knew there was a need because of all the deplatforming, the censorship, and all the other things going on in the communication world where people were not allowed to say the truth. So we decided that there needed to be an alternative to that. So we started Quanta. It was under a different name then. It was called Titanium Secure. Now it's called Quanta Enterprise Comms. And we designed a platform that is an enterprise grade communication platform that users can do a video conference like we're having right now. They can do a voice or video telephone call, an individual or a group. They can share documents. They can send messages, all in a totally integrated and secure envelope. So Quanta is the first platform of enterprise grade quality that is designed with quantum resistant encryption automatically deployed. And what that means is that once quantum computing is widely available, other platforms, other forms of encryption can be hacked and decrypted, but ours cannot. We use the highest standards available through the National Institutes of Standards and Technology, a government organization that actually President Trump has directed all government agencies to use their encryption protocols by 2028 so that the government can be protected as well. Quanta is hosted wholly in the United States, developed by people who share our values. We don't store, sell, share, or monetize data in any way, shape, or form. And again, the only people that are allowed to work on or be involved in our platform are people that share our values. So you can trust the fact that we're of like mind. We're not discriminatory, but we're not gonna target individuals who share our beliefs.
So, from a lay person, your company it's not only protect your information, but protects you against a possibility that somebody might hijack you, or the government will shut you down, or decide what kind of things you have to say or not. Is that true?
Right. All of our communications are what's called end-to-end encrypted. So when you initiate a conversation on your desktop computer, on your tablet, or on your phone, you get an encryption key which locks that conversation. Is transferred through our servers. We don't decrypt it to your device, and then your device is given a key which allows you to decrypt that message. Um, and what that does is that prevents anybody from intercepting that message that can do anything with it. So if they intercepted it, they couldn't do anything with it. They also can't hack into our servers and find out what you and I or anyone else talked about because we don't store any data on our servers on your communications. The only thing we store on our servers are the information necessary to maintain your account and to complete your call. Um, the reason that's important is because, like you said, there is a large amount of censorship going on, and we saw it, in years past between 20 and 24, where conversation was censored. There's no other way to put it. They decided that they didn't like what you were saying, so they shut you down. We're not a social media platform, so we're strictly a communications platform. But you can send a chat, like a text message. You can send a document. You can send a video. You can send photos. And the reason this is important for you to be secure is because the government and other agencies, whether they be foreign agencies or just bad actors in general, are monitoring and listening to everything we do. They may not use it now, they may use it later. For instance, if you're sending a sensitive piece of financial information like your bank statement to someone you want to get a loan from or buy a house, the bad actors are collecting that information right now en masse. And as soon as quantum computing becomes widely available with the standard encryption protocols that are used by almost everyone, they can slice through that encryption code like it's a piece of tissue paper. With ours, it cannot be decrypted, so your document stays secure.
I believe that what you said is very important because I'm thinking back in my life when I grew up under communists and socialists, or the government collected everything and used everything against you. And there is always a possibility that we have to keep in mind that even when you speak the truth, the bad guys, or even a government that is a liberal government, wants to collect those to, if they get in power, to use it against you. And I know, people can read that it's real. It was real in my life. It can be real in America as socialist comes, and people can read in my memoir, Saving My Assassin. But many people, when you talk with them, they will say, because they never live in a communist government, they have never been, required to submit to a government who wants to control them. They might say, well, there is nothing that I can hide. I don't hide anything. What would you say to those people?
Well, even if you don't have anything that you think you should hide, you should be careful. Uh, let's just do something simple. Let's just say you're sharing photographs of your children or grandchildren uh, via simple text or even by email. Social media is even worse. Bad actors can intercept those photographs, and they can use an app called a Nudify app. You look it up, Nudify, and they can actually make pornographic images of those pictures and place your child or your grandchild in a compromising position. Or they can even use AI and make that photograph, using the facial geometry of that photograph, and place your child or your grandchild in a position which might cause them legal problems. There's all kinds of different things that are going on. The most common breakdown is when people are lax about sending um, protected information like their driver's license, their social security number, their bank information back and forth between people. My son is a real estate attorney, and one of the things that happens all the time in his business is that bad actors intercept the wire transfer information, and then somebody goes to pay for a house, and instead of the money going to the lawyer's office who's doing that transaction, it goes to a fraudulent actor, and now that money's gone forever and they can't get it back. Those are just This is one example of things that are happening. But just in the normal realm of business, like you said, there are people that are listening to and monitoring everything we do. They can collect your voice print, like on this call right now. Our voice prints can be collected, and they can be used to make an AI deep fake conversation. And so let's just say you've got let's go an elderly parent. You've got they get your voice, and then now they make a AI deepfake voice engram that calls your mother or your father and says, it sounds like you, and it says, "Hey, I'm in trouble. I need you to wire me some money so I can get out of jail." And now they steal money from your parent, or any other type of those types of things can happen to an elderly person. Your facial geometry can be used to make a false image of you, and those things are being collected. As a matter of fact, one of the very popular platforms out there that's free for most users even says in their terms of service that they collect sensitive information and they list those types of information that they collect. And one says they collect the content and the context of your meetings, including your facial geometry and your voice prints. Who knows what they're doing with those things? Why are they collecting them? But they're using them for something. They also use every bit of information that you put out in a conversation, whether it be in a chat, like a text message, or in a phone call, or a video conference. They use that to build a profile on you and market to you. They're selling your data. As a matter of fact, when Meta bought WhatsApp in 2014, 11 years ago, they paid $19 billion for that platform, and they had zero revenues. But what they did have was thousands of data points on almost everyone on the planet. So WhatsApp is not really a communication platform. It's more of a data collection platform. And that platform is designed to collect as much data as they can so they can sell that data and monetize it. Our platform collects no data or monetizes your data in any way, shape, or form. And we certainly don't use it to monitor or to market to you. We're a subscription-based platform, and that's how we make our money is on the subscriptions. We don't sell your data.
Wow, that is very, very, very good to know and have those information. But let me ask you this: if someone is using your company Quanta, do they have to stop using the other platforms?
No, you don't have to stop using the other platforms, but when you want to have a communication that's confidential, or when you want a private conversation, or especially when you're sharing something that's protected, like your health information, your bank information, anything sensitive about your business, or even certain family issues. Let me give you a good example of why you would want to use Quanta instead of just your general uh, FaceTime chat or one of those types of things. I'll go back to an elderly parent. You've got an elderly parent who might be able to live by themselves still, but they're losing some cognitive faculties, or they might be very trusting. They get a phone call from somebody, and they get asked to give out their social security number, their Medicare number, whatever the case may be, their bank information, send somebody money. You can use this platform, and it's built on what's called zero trust. So nobody can spam call you because they don't have your contact information inside of our system. Only people that you know that you have the contact information for, you can communicate with inside of our system. So you can still use your regular phone. You can still use your other video conferencing platforms. You can still chat and text with people. But when you want it to be secure and private, and you want to protect the confidentiality and the security of your communications, that's when you use Quanta. So a law office who's doing transactions, a medical office who's doing telemed, a real estate office, a business that wants to talk about things, political organizations. And the most commonly used one would be churches, and especially like from places where you originated in Romania, where they were not friendly to Christians at the time. Christians can be persecuted based on their conversations and on their associations. So because we don't store any content on our servers, even if they hacked into my servers, like with what they did with Arctic Frost, in the where the special prosecutor got all the phone records of all the conservative congressmen and other conservative organizations. They collected all that data. Well, they couldn't find that on our servers. If they hacked my servers, there's nothing there for them to find. They would have to physically get your telephone and get your information off your phone or your computer or your friend's computer. And even then, you can set messages to disappear so that there's nothing there if the person wants to find it.
Wow, that is very important. Uh, I noticed that your company is a subscription based, so
Yes,
paid app.
right.
Uh, if somebody will ask the question, why do I have to pay for a service when I can get the same service somewhere else? What would be your answer?
Well, just like I said before, we don't make any money off of your data. And so if you're not paying for a product, especially in the digital world, you are the product. Everything that you say, everything you do is being monetized. In our world, we don't sell any ads, we don't allow any third party plugins, and we don't share or sell your data in any way, shape, or form. So obviously, it costs money to run a platform like this, so we charge a subscription fee, but it's very, very minimal. As low as for 1 to 5 users, it's only $5 per user per month. So you could have your whole family, a family of five, on our platform for $20 per month, less than you're paying for your phone. If you have a large enterprise with a lot of employees or a large organization, that can go all the way down to $2 per user per month. And we even have what we call group subscription plans where you can buy a certain number of what we call seats, like a seat in a restaurant, and you can add users on a temporary basis. So if you and I are having this call today for one time, you can send me a temporary subscription. You can set the time that it expires from 24 hours all the way up to infinity. And when that timer goes away, then now you can use that subscription for somebody else. So you have to keep rebuying subscriptions just to talk to somebody one time. So it's a really unique feature that we have that no one else has. And again, there's no smoke and mirrors. We're here to be to give a fair product at a fair price.
Would you let the audience where they can find that subscription and go and pay if they want to be part of your company?
Yeah, the website is Quanta, Quant, sure.com. And the moniker we use there is when your communications need to be secure, use Quanta and be sure. So quantasure.com, and on our platform you can see pricing, and there's a whole wealth of information about why you should be using a secure communication platform. We have information on quantum computing. We have information on industry news. There's other interviews I've done on there. There's a whole host of information that will really turn your head and open your eyes to the threat that's out there that most people don't realize that is there yet.
Mm. Thank you. Dr. Reese, you and your wife Beverly do something else too. You volunteer and provide significant financial support to organizations that provide dental and medical care for patients both here and abroad. I might organize a trip with you and your wife and your team to Romania because that will be great. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, we've been all over the world. We became associated with and actually became very good friends with the Robertson family at Christian Broadcasting Network, and we've participated with their Operation Blessing team and gone all over the world. I've actually taught dentistry in the Philippines and in Indonesia and in Guatemala. We actually provided a couple of mobile medical and dental clinics down to Central America for their CBN Latin America team. But yeah, we've been all over the world doing that kind of thing and enjoy doing it. And dentistry is the number one unmet healthcare need in the world. And the U.S. is no exception to that. Less than 50% of the people go to the dentist on a regular basis. Um, in the U.S., with Medicaid and all the other free services we have, there's no excuse. In the foreign countries that we go to, it is amazing how neglected people are. And I'll give you a good example. Down in Guatemala City, there is one of the most state of the art children's cancer hospitals I've ever seen in my life. It's better than anything I've seen in the US. But children are dying because not because they can't get treatment for cancer, but because they can't get their dental needs taken care of before they go in to get chemotherapy or radiation, which compromises their immune system, and their toothache or their abscessed tooth can cause them to have an infection and die. So they're dying from cancer because they can't get their tooth fixed. So that's a
Yes,
big need in the world.
yes. You also have a passion for preserving the fabric of the American society. Can you tell
Yes.
us a little bit about that?
Well, again, free speech is the bedrock of our society, and we believe that if you cannot have a freely articulated set of ideas, whether you agree with the person you're speaking to or not, then we have no society. And once the government can control our speech, they can control everything about us. That's also why it's important about data preservation. You know, companies are collecting your data so they can predict your behaviors. And once they can predict your behaviors, they can control your behaviors. And that's something we cannot let happen in America.
That is amazing. And what would you say to someone who is young and is looking to do something, and they might be afraid that they cannot accomplish? Think about the time that you were young and you started all of this. What would you say to back to your young person, and what would you say to a young person today?
Uh, I'd say it to anybody, actually. Don't hang around people who only know what you know. Surround yourself with people who know about other things that you don't know and who have more knowledge about subjects that you don't have. Always try to learn and always put yourself in a position. And the other thing is give. You know, if the key to opening doors in life, whether it be spiritual or physical, is giving. If you give somebody something without the expectation of anything in return, you're going to get more than you ever hoped for. And that's the key. You know, make yourself available. And the third thing would be, don't be a cocoon. Don't be like some of these kids who spend their whole life behind a screen or a chat window. Get out and explore actual humans. That's where real life is contact with humanity, and you'll go far.
That is a wonderful, wonderful message. And I have to say, we are together in a group of people that value relationship and value communication and exposing one another to other group of people that might have themselves might have an influence. And indeed, is don't stay behind your computer or your social media, but go and meet and be a giver.
Right.
Be a giver, and as a young person, never believe that you know everything, because there is a tendency. I know when I was young, I thought that I knew everything until I realized, no, I have to surround myself with people that know much more than I know, and learn from them and walk with them. So I hope people will take that message. But John, I am so delighted to have you in my life, to have you here in our podcast, Courageous Leadership with Virginia Prodan, and you are a courageous leader. And I hope that people will go to your website if they will like to subscribe and have their company being protected, their information. They will be great. And I hope to have you again and share even more about the benefits of your company, and also how you invest in people with your voluntary work, and also with preserving the fabric of America.
Well,
Thank you so very much again. Do you have any closing thoughts?
no, I don't. And I hope to see you. I plan on being in the Dallas area at the end of April, so I hope we can get together in person. But yes, just visit quantasure.com, take a look, and sign up for our service, and I think you'll be glad you did.
Oh, I will be more than happy if you have any chance to be in Dallas, Texas. I will be happy to see you face to face. It will be my
Yes,
honor
ma'am.
and a privilege. And I hope you at one point or another I will meet your wife and your four grown children.
Yes.
Thank you so very much again, John, for sharing with us your values, your amazing thoughts, and amazing ideas. And until next time, I hope everybody will go to John's website. I hope that you will send us your questions, your comments. And if you need any help, please go to virginiaprodanbooks.com/contact. We are here to help you. Thank you, John, again. May God bless you. And until next time, keep in touch. Bye
All right.
bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.